we have got to a point where it's effectively impossible or close to impossible for elected officials, elected ministers, elected politicians to actually deliver things because of the civil service. And so what they say is, Rory Stewart in our interview gave this example of how he was dealing, I think it was either Syria or Yemen. He was in charge of dealing with Britain's response to that particular conflict. And his team was shipped off to Glasgow in the very north of the United Kingdom, because it was perceived that that would be better for the local community. Or another example where he had the person who was supposed to be implementing his policy, the most senior civil servant working under him, and he had two of them because they were job sharing. One did Monday to Wednesday, the other one did Thursday and Friday. And he was told, well, this will be completely smooth and, of course, Minister, this will be fine. Naturally, we're talking about a situation where we're putting secondary concerns in front of primary concerns. And so as long as elected officials are unable to deliver the things they're elected to do, then voter apathy is perfectly understandable and rational. And in that situation, I think it's a very difficult sell to say to people, well, you must go and vote for one of these two parties, neither of which is going to do what you want. Neither of which is not only what you want, but what they promised you to do. And so the democratic deficit, I think, is a reflection of the fact that power does not seem to reside where it should be residing. As someone who was in office, perhaps you're a better place to tell me what one might do about that.
It was a different era. It started with the Prime Minister in our government. He expected every minister to be in control of their departments. It wasn't to be the other way around. And if you weren't in control of your department, you weren't likely to hold on to your job. And I don't know that it's become increasingly impossible. So to follow through as an example, tell me if I'm correct, because I might have this wrong. But I think it's fair to say that from Brexit on, the British people have been saying, we want some control over immigration and illegal arrivals. Government tried to act on that, and it was the civil service who essentially blocked it by legal channels.
Well, yes, that's one of the stories that you'll hear when you talk to people in the Conservative Party. The other story articulated by people like Suella Braverman is actually, yes, the civil service is not massively helpful, but the real reason is that there are people within the Conservative Party, elected MPs, who had no desire to deal with these and with these issues. And of course, these are now the very MPs who, having been absolutely decimated at the election, are saying the reason the Conservative Party was unsuccessful is they were not more moderate. They were not sufficiently left-wing, effectively, is what they're saying. So the Conservative coalition, it seems to me, is breaking apart along these lines, precisely because there are quite a lot of people in it who you might say have gone native or have been native the entire time. When you talk to Labour people, what they say is, well, the reason we're going to be successful is rather than taking the fight to the civil service like the Conservatives did and failed, we're going to work with the civil service, and we will see how that works out for them. I imagine that will work out very well as long as they're doing the things the civil service wants done. I don't know that stopping illegal immigration is necessarily one of those. So that's why my prediction is I think that all of these issues are likely to get worse, not better, over the next 5 years.